Hey guys, welcome to BAYERN United. Welcome to another video, and today is finally time to do my Champions League group stage predictions and my overall predictions for the whole Champions League year of 2019-2020. And at first I want to say that it is always a lottery. It is if you want to see a complete accurate prediction of the Champions League, I suggest that you keep dreaming, because that's not gonna happen. You're more likely to win $1 million than you are to get the Champions League draw right, or at least how things are gonna go. But I'm gonna try to be as accurate as I can. This is a knockout competition, but I'm just going to try to predict based on how I see the teams, how strong I see some teams. Some groups are pretty straightforward, and some others, it's up for debate on what could happen going forward. I'm going to start with naming the groups, and then I'm going to say my predictions about them. In Group A, we found ourselves with PSG, Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and Galatasaray. Group B is Bayern Munich, Tottenham Hotspur, Olympiakos, Red Star Belgrade. In Group C, we have Manchester City, SHAKHTAR Donetsk, DINAMO ZAGREB, and ATALANTA. And in Group D, we have Juventus, ATLETICO Madrid, BAYERN LEVERKUSEN, and Lokomotiv Moscow, completing the first half of the Champions League group. In the second half, we have Liverpool Football Club, we have Napoli, Red Bull Salzburg, and Genk, completing Group E. In Group F, we have FC Barcelona, we have Borussia Dortmund, and Inter Milan, rounding up with Slavia Prague. In Group G, we have Zenit St. Petersburg, Benfica, Olympique Lyon, and RB Leipzig. And wrapping up, but not less important, Group H with Chelsea, Ajax, Valencia, and Lille. And that, ladies and gentlemen, it's the whole of the all Champions League groups. Some are easier than others, some are very difficult. Of course, Barcelona has this horrible luck of getting horrible groups for some reason. But it's time to go into the predictions. Let's go ahead with Group A, with PSG, Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and Galatasaray. And let me talk a bit about the predictions. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think PSG are going to be finishing first, Real Madrid are going to be finishing second, Galatasaray are going to be finishing third, and Club Brugge are going to be finishing fourth in the group. I think it's the two that are going to go ahead is pretty straightforward. Like, Real Madrid or PSG should not be falling to either Club Brugge or Galatasaray. Galatasaray, I think, could give problems to Real Madrid or PSG on any given day. They're going against them away from home could be difficult. Could be a difficult trip, but I still think they're going to be able to pull it through. Why am I putting PSG above Real Madrid? Because I see PSG having, they're always good in the groups. They're always blitzing everyone in the group stage, and I think that against Club Brugge and Galatasaray we're going to see that, and I think against Real Madrid we're going to see a different side of the story. It's going to be interesting seeing those two go ahead against each other, and we'll see what's going to happen. Our Real Madrid with likes of Eden Hazard, and the new phase of PSG with the likes of Icardi, Neymar, Mbappe. We're going to see what's going to happen going forward for Group A, but those are my predictions. Let's go ahead with Group B. We have Bayern Munich, Tottenham Hotspur, Olympiakos, and Red Star Belgrade. And to be honest, I'm going to put Bayern Munich to finish first, Tottenham Hotspur to finish second, Olympiakos to finish third, and Red Star Belgrade to finish fourth. Now, this is where I have one of the things that I could put into doubt. And yes, people might call me crazy. I think Bayern are going to finish first. I think that they having it a bit easier in their league, it's gonna make it easier for them to put their best 11 always in the Champions League. I believe Tottenham Hotspur, I didn't want to put them first because they're a team that it's challenging for top 4. Like you're gonna have, I think top 4 should be a guarantee if they play their best 11 every single week, but they still have to compete for it. There's still teams racing to be in the top 4, and I think Spurs need to be at the best level to go through. This is not an easy group. We saw how much Liverpool had troubles going away against Red Star. I believe, I want to be honest with you, I have a feeling that Tottenham could have one of those groups where they just fall against Olympiakos. I truly believe that Olympiakos, it could be a case where they go through. Like we saw how Tottenham had a lot of problems with PSV and the likes of Inter Milan last season, and we I don't know, like they got to a Champions League final, but they got into a Champions League final playing that way and with those kind of results. Like they were very weird results, especially against Ajax and Manchester City. So we'll see. It's all for debate, but I think that's my prediction for Group B. Group C, we have Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk, DINAMO Zagreb, and Atalanta, and I think it's pretty straightforward. Manchester City, just as the league title, I think they're gonna finish top of the group. Pretty much, I'll be surprised if they get beaten at all. Maybe away from home against Atalanta or away from home against Shakhtar. That could be a difficult trip. Other than that, I see them being very comfortable top of the group. And second in the group, I'm gonna put Atalanta. I was very close to put Shakhtar Donetsk on second place, but I just believe that, you know, it could be very difficult. Like, it could be very difficult for Shakhtar Donetsk to go through because Dinamo Zagreb are also a difficult side. I think they're going to finish 4th though. This is an interesting group. This is going to be pretty similar to what we saw last season in Manchester City's group with Lyon, with the likes of Hoffenheim, where they had difficult games. It wasn't all straightforward. So I think Atalanta, I'm not by much. I think Shakhtar Donetsk on a good day could get out of the group. I've seen Atalanta have, I think Gasperini is a really good manager, and Shakhtar Donetsk, I don't put them up there because I haven't seen much of the new manager and the new team. And Paulo Fonseca, I really thought was the spirit of this team, and losing him, I think it's going to be a really big impact for Shakhtar Donetsk going forward. So I think Atalanta are going to finish second, given that they have it pretty tough in the league, but I'm pretty sure Atalanta are not going to be finishing top 4 this season. With Group D, I'm going to have to say, and this is where one of the big upsets is going to come, so let's go ahead. My predictions are with Juventus, Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, and Lokomotiv Moscow, that the old lady is going to be finishing first. I think that Cristiano Ronaldo, Douglas Costa, Higuain, Paulo Dybala, they have too much quality to go through. Like, I'll be heavily surprised if they don't go through. And at second place, I'm going to put Bayer Leverkusen and Atletico Madrid at third, Lokomotiv Moscow at fourth. Now, why would I say something like this? It's not I don't think Atletico Madrid are worse than Leverkusen. I think that they're better on paper. But the thing is that you lose 8 players, you bring in 8 players. It's going to have time to adapt, and some of these players don't have that much experience playing in the Champions League or playing European competitions, and they're still trying to adapt to Simeone's system. You know, Leverkusen are a team that could give problems to anyone, to any of these teams on any given day. They have the likes of Kevin Bolland. I mean, for frick's sake, they're playing Charles Arangues at the pivot position. That just tells you how attacking they are with Canon Demba, with Leon Bailey. They just have too much pace, and going forward, they're so good. At Lokomotiv Moscow are going to have a problem in this group. They're going to be always a tough away trip, but they just do not compare to any of these 3 teams. Again, Bayer Leverkusen could capitulate because I've seen it before, but overall, I think that there's a slim chance, and I think that if there's going to be an upset in this Champions League, it's that Atletico Madrid doesn't make it into the final stage of the Champions League. So, in Group E, I'm going to have to say that we have the likes of Liverpool, Napoli, Salzburg, and Genk. And that is going to be the exact order that I'm going to replace them in. Liverpool finishing first. I think that they're steamrolling everyone in the Premier League. I believe that last season they did have problems to get out of the group, but again they have PSG and Napoli and Red Star Belgrade on the group. That was pretty rough, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But this season they have Napoli. I think that Napoli are gonna be a lot weaker this season, especially in the Champions League, because they're fighting for the Serie A title. If there is a year where you throw out the Champions League to try to fight for the league title, is this year, because Juventus are at their weakest. Although they're a really strong team, they're at their weakest that they've ever been, and it's time to capitulate. So that means that they're not gonna put all their focus in the Champions League. At least that's what I think. I think that they're still going through just by a little bit, because I think RB Salzburg again could be give a surprise this season. I wouldn't be surprised if you tell me RB Salzburg finished second in this group, but I just think at the end of the day, with the likes of Irving Lozano, Mertens, Milik, Insigne, the midfield of Fabian Ruiz, Alan, Zielinski, they have too much quality in that team. And I believe that it will be really rough for Salzburg to get enough points to go ahead of against Napoli. I think Genk, they haven't had proper reinforcement. They lost one or two key players this season, and I believe that I just think that they're gonna finish bottom of the group. I would be highly surprised if they finish with more than 3 points in this group stage. Group F, again, Barcelona, Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan, and Slavia Prague. It's gonna be a difficult group. Barcelona always seems to get a difficult group for some reason. I don't know what the hell is going on here. Real Madrid is getting Club Brugge and Galatasaray, and I'm getting Borussia Dortmund and Inter Milan. That's great. That's just fantastic. Inter Milan, I believe they're going to be finishing second. Barcelona are going to be finishing first. Borussia Dortmund are going to be finishing third, with Slavia Prague finishing fourth. I think that is pretty straightforward. I haven't seen Barcelona not finish top of the group for as long as don't remember the last time Barcelona were not finishing first of the group. It's very rare that we don't finish first of the group, and I think that's very telling, seeing as how many league titles we've won. That tells you that in a league format we're very consistent, and even though this is that we've had a shaky start, I think that we'll be able to pull off, especially against Dortmund, because I believe like Inter, they have, like, it depends. Antonio Conte could transform his side by then, and it could be a really great Inter Milan side. Yet again, it could be an Inter Milan side that has a lot of flaws. That is yet to be seen. But with Borussia Dortmund, I believe that they're also going to be challenging Bayern Munich for the league title this season, because Bayern could have, like, they could be falling off and not have all the pieces that they need to compete for the league title properly. So I believe teams like Dortmund and RB Leipzig are going to try to capitulate on the league title today and try to win a Bundesliga. So they have to lose focus on the Champions League, so be it. But I think Barcelona are going to finish first, Inter Milan second. I believe that Lukaku, Sanchez, Lautaro Martinez are going to be able to cause a lot of damage going up top. And Skriniar, Diogo Godin, De Vrij, Handanovic, they have a really good team, really good midfielders. It's just a really complete team, and Antonio Conte is the best manager in the group. So it's going to be very interesting to see. As long as Slavia Prague again, it's a tough game away from home always for any of these teams. But then that should be straightforward, beating Slavia Prague for pretty much all these teams at home. So that's what I think is going to happen for Group F. Group G, we have Zenit, Benfica, Olympique Lyon, and RB Leipzig. And where do I start here? This is not the hardest group to predict, but it is one of the hardest groups to predict. I had a lot of problems deciding here, because these are all teams that in theory they're all pretty much at the same level. Like, there's no there's no world beaters in this team. Like, there's no like cities or Liverpools or Barcelonas or Real Madrid, PSG, or Juventus, Atleticos. Like, there is not a big superpower in this team, and I believe that any of these teams could be finishing first, and any of these teams could be finishing fourth. But from previous experiences, I believe Benfica are going to be finishing 4th. I just believe that Benfica have a pretty bad track record in the Champions League of not going through, and I believe that if I had to choose any of them to finish bottom group, it would be Benfica. St. Petersburg, I think, are going to be finishing 3rd. Very close to Olympique Lyon, who I think are going to finishing 2nd. And RB Leipzig, who I think are going to be finishing 1st. And I put Leipzig 1st because although they're going to be challenging for the Bundesliga this season, Nagelsmann is by far the best coach in this list. And he has a really track record of improving youngsters, of getting the best out of his players, of even players that are not so great. So if he could cause that much damage with the players that he had at Hoffenheim, I don't even want to imagine what he's going to do with the players like Poulsen, Savitsa, Timo Werner. Like, he just has a lot of quality going forward. Olympique Lyon has strengthened really well with René Adelaide, with the likes of... They did have loss of Fekir and Ndombele and Mendy, but they strengthened well. I think that they've had overall good reinforcement, and it's going to be really good for Olympique Lyon. I think that Zenit could be finishing 2nd, but I'm just going to put them 3rd because I just see Olympique Lyon having a really good team, a much better team that they have, and Silvinho so far has shown good things in the league. It's been very promising for Olympique Lyon, definitely. And lastly but not least, Group H, and this was the group that I had the most problem predicting because it was just really difficult. For some reason, I have the feeling Chelsea going to be finishing 2nd. And that's the only thing I can tell you for sure about this group. I don't know why, but Chelsea can be finishing 2nd this group. I have a gut feeling that yes, Frank Lampard, he's been playing good football rarely, but it's just the results haven't been going his way, and I just feel that Chelsea are in that point where they're playing good football. They might go ahead in groups, but then they're having problems finishing teams off, and that is just something that cannot be allowed to happen at the top level. Chelsea really need to capitulate, and it's gonna be very difficult doing that if like, I don't know how much Tammy Abraham can improve. Giroud is not a reliable goal scorer. Batshuayi seems to not be trusted, so I'm just gonna put them to finish 2nd. They're gonna get out of the group, but I think they're gonna have a lot of problems. And even if you told me Chelsea finished 4th in the group, I would believe it because this is a really difficult group to predict. But I believe Chelsea will be finishing 2nd. I'm going to put Lille to finish in 4th in this group because out of all these groups, out of all these teams, they're the ones with the least Champions League experience. A lot of youngsters, a lot of good youngsters like Renato Sanchez. They have Giotani Kone. Osimhen started really well this season, but I think lack of experience, it's going to be a detriment for them in this year's Champions League edition. And for 1st and 3rd spot, Ajax and Valencia, I had a really tough time thinking about who's going to be finishing 1st and 3rd. But after a long thought, I'm going to say Ajax are going to be finishing 1st and Valencia are going to be finishing 3rd. And it's not because of what Ajax did last season, which is really great. But Ten Hag is a really good manager, and if they can get the best out of Rasmus Marin, if they can get the best out of Quincy Promes, Tadic, Ziyech, Neres, like, yes, they lost the Ligt and the Young, who are huge losses, but they're a team that could compete very well, and I believe that they could be finishing 1st because their play style at the end of the day, for me, is a place that best suits to be finishing 1st of a group. So Ajax, Chelsea, and Valencia. Valencia just thinking Marcelino, he has problems in knockout competitions, and yes, he won the Copa del Rey, but we saw what happened in the Champions League. Manchester United are not much better than Ajax and Chelsea, and he had a lot of problems putting Manchester United to the sword, and we'll see what's going to happen. It could go any other way. This is the most difficult group for me to predict, but yeah, Ajax 1st, Chelsea 2nd, Valencia 3rd, and Lille 4th. And now, let's go for my favorites for the Champions League to win this Champions League edition. I'm going to say the 5 teams that I think have the best chances of winning the Champions League. We have Liverpool, Barcelona, Manchester City, Juventus, and Paris Saint-Germain. Now, I think that at 5th, we're going to have PSG. I think that Leonardo has built a team that's pretty decent actually. He's brought good midfielders, good defenders, good forwards. They have pretty good young fullbacks. Their senior fullbacks, I think, are not like particularly great, but they'll do a job. Thomas Tuchel is a really good manager, and I believe that Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, Di Maria, Icardi, obviously, they have a lot of talent going forward. Midfield-wise, Berratti, it's really good. Paredes, they have a lot of quality in that team, and I believe that if they can get the best out of it, they're definitely good candidates to win the Champions League. I believe at fourth, I'm gonna have Juventus. I'm gonna have Juventus at fourth because I don't know, on their lady I would have put them higher in the list, but I don't know, Sarri's first year, it seems like it's always gonna take adapting, playing a new place, so especially a possession-based football with a dominating possession. They have the players to do it, but it could take time for the team to adapt to it in a general way. I just don't see I see Juventus being favorites because they're always favorites. They have a super team with Cristiano Ronaldo, with again Higuain, with Matthijs de Ligt, with they have super team. It's really good, but I cannot put them anything higher than fourth. I think Barcelona are gonna be finishing third. Barcelona, it's my team, but I don't have the best hope for them because I believe that we're gonna have a good season. If these games are for anything to go for, if Barcelona go to the same level that they had at the second half of the last season, I think we're winning this league title again. I just don't see Real Madrid. I see Real Madrid having the same problems that they had last season, and Atletico Madrid again. Results-wise, it was going fine, but game-wise, it wasn't the same with Atletico Madrid. They're not solid defensively at the back, and attacking-wise, they're not that team that it's going to be blitzing teams apart. So I think Barcelona could have a good time at the Champions League, but that's only if they put maximum effort, maximum level of intensity. If everyone's working hard, and especially if they're playing every game with a lot of intensity, with a lot of concentration. If you don't do that, then Barcelona might as well get knocked out in the group stage, because every game they have to treat it as if it was the last game of the season, as if it was the final. That's how I see it, at least. I think Liverpool are finishing second. I think Liverpool, it's a team that, of course, the defending champions. They won the 2018-2019 Champions League final. They were a super team. They destroyed Barcelona, respectively. It was admiring to see that. I envy that. I wish that we play with that amount of intensity, because it is a joy to see Salah, Mane pressing, Firmino, everyone running, everyone following the instructions of the coach. It's fantastic to see. They obviously have a fantastic team in Naby Keita, Salah, Mane, Firmino. But the thing that I don't put them favorites for either for the Premier League or the Champions League is that their depth is not that great. And yes, I understand that they cannot be spending that much amount of money every single summer, but they don't have that much depth going forward. They love Sturridge, Origi. Yes, he scored pretty important goals, but again, goals are not everything, and they're not going to carry you all the time around. If you are only scoring in 3 games out of 60, then that's not good enough. And well, Liverpool knew more than that. They were pretty lucky that they pretty much had Firmino, Salah, Mane fit for the whole season, but that could very soon change. So I think Liverpool could struggle if any of their key players get injured, that they have no replacement. And that's why I think Manchester United are the favorites to win the Champions League, because they have probably the best team in the world, if I had to say so. At least the best squad in the world. I think they have a pretty decent balanced team now. I think there's the best starting 11 once the group stage gets on. If Leroy Sané recovers very well and he can adapt to the team, I think Pep Guardiola will be playing with something like Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva in the midfield with Leroy Sané, Sterling, and Aguero, and that's just a threat going forward. Aguero's a fantastic finisher. They have backup of Gabriel Jesus. Gundogan and Fernandinho to be the backups in midfield with David Silva. Obviously, they can give you a lot of experience. Really good center backs, a really good goalkeeper, amazing fullbacks, at least, especially Cancelo. It's just going to be a joy to watch Manchester City this season, and that's why, for me, they're the favorites for the Champions League this season. So, with all said and done, this was my complete Champions League guide, predictions for the group stage, and my key favorites for this year's edition Champions League. Leave me all your opinions in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to get out of the groups, and who you think is going to win the Champions League? Leave me your opinions in the comment section below. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, Blaugranas.